Well, good morning, everybody. Today is Saturday. Yes? Yes?
That's very loud coming through.
Okay, hang on. Rick, can you turn it down a little bit, please? Okay.
You may want to restart the recording.
Pardon me?
You may want to restart the recording.
No, I didn't stop. It's still on record.
Okay, we'll edit it later.
Okay, yeah. Okay, is this any better?
Much better.
Jim? Okay. Good morning, everybody. Today is Saturday, December 12th, 2020. Welcome to our Contract Trust Conference call. We're not accountants, tax professionals, lawyers, or currency dealers. We're not engaged in rendering legal, tax, accounting, or other professional advice. Should you require those services, you should retain competent advice from a professional in that field. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Carol Werelius, and my associate Jim Knox and I have these calls every second and fourth Saturday of the month. These calls are recorded and available on our website, www.indicatorinformation.com, iqdcalls.com, and YouTube. As we get closer and closer to our expected events, we thought this would be a good time to review our common law contract trust and why we think it is the best vehicle for you to protect your assets. As always, your questions are welcome. Just *6 to raise your hand. Today, we are going to resume our Q&A platform from the last several calls. We will take questions on trusts, but not on the RV. Unfortunately, we don't know that much more than you do. So I think we already have a few hands raised here, so let's take a look. Good morning, McKinley. How are you?
Morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What's up?
Good. Everything is great. Listen, on the bloodline trust, if I set up a bloodline trust, that means that everybody in my bloodline is able to benefit from the trust, or do I have to designate who can and who can't?
Well, the bloodline clause comes under your successor trustee, and it says that all future trustees and successor trustees must be of your bloodline. So in other words, you could appoint your daughter a successor trustee, but not her husband.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Now, this is not a question. This is Jim. I need to do a couple of automobile trusts, and I need a real estate trust, and I need that one that takes care of your medical. And it's 3 something. It's like if you're how you want your remains to go. What is that?
That would be part of our triple play, which includes
triple play. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, which includes the power of attorney and your health care directive and your pour-over will.
Yeah, I would like Jim to do those for me. So do I have to call him, email him? And this will be after. Okay.
Just drop us an email. No problem. And this will be after?
All right. After, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. But listen, that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Okay. Gary, you had your hand raised earlier. Gary? What happened to Gary? Okay,
Hi,
Gary.
Carol. This is Gary.
How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I tried to say hello to you and Jim, but I guess I was on mute. You couldn't hear me. And so I hit *6 to see if that would unmute me, but it didn't, so I unmuted myself.
Okay. Did you have a question?
No, not right now. I may in the future, but not at the moment.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
There was another name I saw on here that had their hand up and then went away. Let's see who that was. Hi, area code 318. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I saw your hand up earlier.
Yes, your name is Imhotep Muhammad.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I've listened to some of your calls. I also sent an email to you and Jim about putting my name on your list. I listened to several of your calls this past week, and there's a couple of answers that I still didn't get after listening to about 4 calls, I believe it was. And I don't know whether now is a good time to ask those questions, or do I need to let you all go ahead and do with your presentation and then ask them? So what do you suggest?
Well, if you have questions, go ahead and ask them now. That's what we're here for.
Okay. All right. I have 8 questions total. I may have missed something, so you can answer them now or whatever. I think I got the answer to this. Do trusts file in? The contract non-grantor trust, do it have to file income tax every year?
You are not required to file unless the trust makes more than $600 in any given year. Right now, until our event occurs, you won't have to file.
Okay, only if trust makes $600 a year.
Yeah, or more, yeah.
Okay. All right, got that. And trust do have to have an EIN number, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay. Do you not have to register?
Wait.
Hold on.
Okay, you only need an EIN number if you want to open a bank account with a trust.
Bank account only.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if a real estate trust is using a management trust to be able to make the payments for the real estate trust, there's a contract between the real estate trust and management trust. The management trust has EI and has the account set up. A real estate trust does not need an EI number. Neither does an automobile trust, as long as you have some way of managing the finances, which will be done through your management company.
Okay. I have at the bottom number 8 about the management trust and some explanation on that. Okay, so I got that down. There is no registration of this trust because it don't comes under no government jurisdiction, so you don't have to go file that at the courthouse. That's correct?
That's correct.
Okay, correct. All right. Excuse me. I'm dealing with sinus problem. Can I make, I think I did remember this one. I just wrote down the question, can I make my children president, CEO, trustee, first line, second line trustee, etc.? And I think that was yes.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, put down yes. You mentioned something on one of the trusts about a month ago, and I don't know, I can't remember what in the, excuse me. I think someone asked a question about your trust being able to buy any type of vehicle from a Volkswagen all the way through to a Rolls Royce. And I think you said that you need to have a automobile trust for that. Is that correct?
Well, yes. Let's put it this way. If you want to protect yourself, yes.
Yes. Okay.
The whole reason of putting an automobile in a trust is probably your highest exposure to a lawsuit. And I like to use the example, you're driving down the road, it's a 2-lane road, you're coming at a car and they're coming at you, and you're driving 60 miles an hour, that's 88 feet per second, that's 130 some odd feet closure rate per second. If somebody sneezes, you get next to each other, it might get exciting. And so if that happens, and you're the one that sneezes, then you're liable. So all of your assets would be liable. Now, if you don't own any assets, that's the whole idea of this, is they can't take things that are not in your name. And the car is your highest liability. So you want it segregated from all the rest of your assets. You want it in a trust. You want your house in a trust. You want your business in a trust. You want everything you can put into trust out of your name. That's the reason.
Okay, and that would mean having multiple trusts, because if you have multiple cars, whether they Volkswagen, Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, or whatever, the higher is. I just look at it from the sense that all of them are very liability and put you at liberty. But I would think that the highest value Rolls Royce or whatever you got, it would even make you more liable.
That's true, and I like your choice of cars, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm a Rolls Royce person. I've been dreaming for one for 30 years. So
now you can.
If they give us this money like they say, I don't know whether you are familiar, and I know you all do keep up some with the dinar trust. The Iraqi dinar. The word is been out for the last 2 to 3 weeks that they say that they are going to change the value of the currency before December 31st.
Yeah,
but you know how Iraq is. They run behind on everything they say.
So anyway, yeah,
Okay.
can't trust any of these.
Okay.
I don't listen
All
to
right,
Bird or Fleming or anybody. So, okay, so let's go back to the car real quick. So the reason you want the trust, you want one car per trust, because if you had your Lamborghini and your Volkswagen in the trust and you wreck your Volkswagen and it's the cause of the wreck, then they'll take the wrecked Volkswagen and the Lamborghini.
Right.
So make sure you have one car per trust, one house per trust.
Right. I'm writing that down. I needed that too. That was the next question about the house. So I'm writing that down too for a trust. I'm gonna have a lot of trusts.
Yes, you will. I got a bunch of them.
Okay. My next question is about transferring the money from your management trust. Whatever amount of money you put into a management trust, which I'm thinking just a very large amount of money, several million. Have you all had anyone to have a problem in transferring $1, $5, $10 million to any offshore trust into another country? Have you all found that to be a problem?
I've done that in the past, and I've never had a problem with it. There's a lot of new rules out there. Depends on where we go politically here shortly. That may be very, very difficult. As it is right now, it's very easy. And I never found an issue with that. Now, going back to management trust, I don't think you want to put millions and millions and millions in the management trust. So what you want to do with that, the management trust is just an entity that would hold money in trust for your automobile, to pay for your insurance, pay for your maintenance, actually buy the car. Same with your real estate. You'd only have enough money in there to buy the real estate, manage the real estate, pay your insurance, pay your taxes, so on and so forth. So the management trust should be kept fairly lean. You're going to, with your wealth managers, they'll have a specific type of a trust that you can pull the cash from. It's just a simple transfer. Now, since we just brought that up, let me say this about that. Make sure that your mother lode trust is not accessible to the public. In other words, you don't want some teller. When I go to the bank, all my accounts except for my mother lode are visible because I have multiple trust accounts, and they can see everything. If you have that mother lode trust and you've got a few million in there, some of us have a lot of million in there, not a little million, a lot of million, you don't want that teller looking at that, seeing that, and going home and telling all the family, man, them old bald guy showed up, and he's got $60 million in the trust, and this is his name, and you don't want that out there. Now, that's just human nature. They're not being mean. They're not being, vile. That's just human nature. Don't tempt them. Make sure that is taken off of the main screen. You tell your wealth manager that the only people who are going to see that is you here in this office and me when I show up. And I'm going to go there physically and transfer, or maybe make a phone call if I got the right relationship. And I'm going to go there physically, transfer the money from my mother lode trust as necessary to my subsequent trust to manage my estate and my affairs. Keep that in mind. You do not want that thing visible. You can tell them, I do not want this account used for training. I do not want this account used on the public computers. And I only want this account seen by the wealth managers and me in the wealth manager's office.
Okay, I got it down. Okay, I just wrote all that down. My next question is, it ties back to the trust, what I said, the management trust. It sort of ties back into that from the standpoint of when I asked you about doing transfers. I look and read up on international trust, which the Cook Island, I don't know if you're familiar about it. Cook Island, the Cook Island, C-O-O-K, Cook Island Trust, and the Nevis Trust is considered to be the number 1, number 2 trust worldwide. And I want to be able to take money.
Wait a minute. The trusts are not the best trust. They don't have a trust. They have a banking system that if you place your estate in their system, it's private. You can use these trusts and go to Nevis and the Cook Islands and British Virgin Islands and a few other places where I have actually done business. You can use these trusts there. You just take the trust with you in your abstracted trusts. They'll want to see a little bit more information than the American banks, and that's fine because the privacy is what you're looking for. You use our trust in those countries. You don't go get their trust. They don't have a trust. They just have a banking system and laws of the country that gives you the privacy you're looking for. That's all they do. So you take your entity with you. Does that make sense?
Okay, well, yeah, it does in a sense, but what I was trying to do, and I guess it still would apply, I was trying to have more layer of protections, whereas if I have this business contract trust and from you all, and I go through the Cook Island Trust, I don't know the exact word, but have it layered through those trusts would be extra protections, what I was looking for, so that if I wanted to transfer, let's just give a hypothetical number. So I wanted to transfer $25 million out of that trust, out of my management, out of my Motherlode Trust, over to a Cook Island Trust, a Nevis Trust, and then transfer it from there to another trust while in a country in Africa or South America or whatever, and that money remains there because I'm not intended to ever bring it back on shore.
Okay. First, we got to clarify something. The Cook Islands and Nevis, they don't have a trust. When you go there, there's companies that will build the trust for you. You can take your trust, a trust made by us, one that's authored by our company, or Carol's company. You can take that to there, and they'll register it as being a Nevis or Cook Island trust. In other words, it's in their purview. It's not. I've seen their trust. I've got copies of those trusts. They're not the greatest trust from the three companies I got them from. This is the best trust you'll ever find because it's got, Supreme Court. So the point on this is you want to take your known, perfectly constructed entity that you know is standing up under court and create it. You just take and move it there, and you domicile it there under their laws.
Okay, I got you. I got you now.
Okay. I'm making notes.
Anything else? Anything else?
I'll just read this question, make sure it's the last one. See if I have first business to register. Oh, yeah. In order to do business, I'm in Louisiana. I don't know whether you're familiar with Louisiana, but we operate in the Napoleon Code.
You guys use what we call dog law. It's French. It's a French. Everything's based on the French. Anyway, I understand. Exactly. I've actually done some research. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, what state? I think I already know, but I'm just going to ask you because what state do you all recommend if I was to do business in Louisiana? Excuse me. If I was going to try to set up a business and do business, which I do want to do, like buy some real estate, build some apartment complexes, and build a hotel in several major cities in Louisiana, which is about 5. What state do you all recommend me using my trust to do this under? Would it be Louisiana, or would it be Nevada, or Wisconsin, or Wyoming, or some other state that you all would recommend me to basically, I guess, would you say domicile that trust there in order to do business here in Louisiana?
You might have an issue with Louisiana on that one. I'd have to do more research.
Can I interrupt for a second? Can I interrupt? In my recollection, if you're going to do a trust in Louisiana, somebody involved in that trust, whether it be the initial exchanger or the creator, has to live in a different state other than Louisiana. If for instance, your creator lives in Texas, you could domicile it in Texas, and you're fine. You can still use it then in Louisiana. Is that what you've read, Jim?
I would say yes. And Florida, Texas, Wyoming, any of those. I agree with Carol. The creator has to not be there. They can't live there. I can't live in Louisiana.
Okay.
But you can still operate your trust there.
Okay, so the creator must live in another state.
Yeah.
Yes. And you're going to domicile it in a different state anyway.
Now, I don't know what the registration. Yeah, I don't know what the registration is going to be required there for operating the trust there. We need to look into that, especially for real estate. I don't know. Louisiana is just so different. You know,
okay. All right. Well, those answer my questions. I had about 8 or 9 of them that I was going through, and I will listen to this call again. Plus, I will listen to some of your other trusts because I'm quite sure I have trust calls. I have a few other questions, and I did give the number out for some other people that are in the Denard community also that's supposed to be trying to get on the call, and recommending that they really listen to your trust calls today and past, so that they can get a better understanding of what to do and what to be expecting, because I know this is going to be I'm a business major and I have a PhD in finance, and this is difficult to me to learn all this stuff and try to stay on top of it so that I can better protect my money and not have somebody steal it from me in the process, because I know that can be very easily done when they start dealing with CPAs and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm trying to let our people wake up that is in the Denard community, become aware that this is probably the very, very best trust that we can get in America that I have found out. And I don't get me wrong, I still look to try and ask questions. What is the best trust to have in America? That and so far right now, you all trust is number one to me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And we agree with that. Yeah, we fully agree with that.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, I know that I would be needing many. And right now I have about 21 names for trust, and I'm going to have 9 more. So I think I'm going to end up probably have to have about 30 trusts done as far as I know of.
That's just about right.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the information. You all been so kind and so good and helpful. And I'll sit back and listen
you're
to all
welcome.
the rest.
Okay.
Thank you, and thanks for the questions. They were good questions.
Okay.
Thanks. Well, there's nobody else in the queue right now, but I was just reminded of something from our last call when we talked about a client wanting to purchase some real estate but did not want his name on anything. So we created a minute for him that allows him to choose a president or whatever. Within the trust itself, it says you can pick anybody you want to have as president, vice president, regular corporate officers. So we created that 1 minute for him and a resolution. And, Jim, did you get it on the website, or is it ready to go on the website?
It'll probably be later today or tomorrow. I've just got my computer isn't even working all the time yet. I mean,
that's right. That's right. You've had little computer issues this week. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, Raul, you were one of the ones that questioned about that. Do you have any more questions about that, or did we clear it up for you? And my computer seems to be stuck. I can't change pages here. So, okay, we do have a question. Area code 386. Hi, what's your question?
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Can there be more than one trust domiciled at the same address?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got like I think 12 or 13 of them.
Yeah,
right now at one address.
Oh.
Now the issue is where we have people that allow you up to 5 trusts per box. So you'd have to work a deal with them. Now remember, we don't get much mail, if any mail. It's just having the document showing that it's actually domiciled. For mine right now, they're all domiciled in the state of Washington.
Yeah, they're mine.
Yeah, and they don't get any mail. The only person who should ever send any mail would be the Internal Revenue Service, but they're really the only one that has that address. And we don't get anything from them until you start paying taxes, and then you may get some paperwork from them from time to time. But you should not use the domicile address for anything other than the IRS, because you as trustee can live anywhere and manage the trust, even though it's domiciled in Florida or Texas or Washington or Wyoming. Does that help?
Well, because mine is domiciled, it is. And because mine is domiciled at a UPS store, it's really up to them how much I can use that one box.
Well, yeah, it is. And, the thing is, I have a box, and it's limited to 5 trusts, but they've never got any mail. And so I actually have 12 at that box. They don't know that. I use the address only for the IRS. They've never seen anything from anything. I've never got any mail there yet. I haven't activated the trust in as much as I haven't paid taxes, but no income. So take that as maybe that's not great advice, but that's what I do. I mean, that's how I do my life. And what I do on these calls, folks, is I'm giving you my personal experience. You know, I'm like we said at the beginning, I'm not trained, nor can I give you financial advice. I'm just telling you how I do things. It works for me. So that kind of help?
Yes, it did. Thank you. Thank you, Carol.
You're welcome. And I would like to add something, too, well, actually a couple things to that. Our mailbox referral in Kenmore, Washington, he actually has virtual mailboxes set up for you guys. So even though our agreement is 5 trusts, like Jim said, they don't know if you've got 5 or 25. It's not a big deal. We made a similar arrangement with the gentleman here in Florida the other day. And also, when you set up your bank accounts, you have to give the trust domicile address, but tell them you do not want mail to go to that address. You want your mail to go where you are. And, you know, most of us, we don't want any online access for a mother-in-law trust especially. So when they send you a statement, it should go to whatever address you have chosen other than the mailbox. Would you agree, Jim?
I would agree, because you're the trustee. You have to keep the paperwork for the trust. You should come directly to the trustee's address no matter where you live.
Good. Okay. Anybody else have any questions right now? Come on, guys. It's only 25 after the hour.
Well, let's talk about the website, if not.
Okay. Let's do that.
All right. Well, the website's in its new position. I'm still getting things squared away, and then I had a computer situation pop up this week, and we're still trying to resolve some issues. I took my big box and I had it completely reinstalled. All the programs worked perfectly. I'm trying to use my Nook, and we're trying to make the two talk together. They don't like each other, evidently. So that's why I'm trying to figure out how to make it work better. So right now I'm on about 50% of the horsepower that I normally need. So that's what our deal's been this week, trying to get all that stuff done. Because we know there's going to be a big push on this stuff shortly. So we're trying to get everything squared away. So on the website, I've got a lot of documentation. As soon as I get this stuff squared away, she's coming back over today. Esther's our tech gal. She's coming back over later today, and trying to get this finished up. And then this week, I'll start adding all the content. So go to the new tab. The tab at the top of the website says new. And in there, I'll list all of the new stuff with hyperlinks all over the website where all the new stuff is going to be. So it'll be quite a bit this coming 8 to 10 days of new stuff being added to the website. We've been trying to get this stuff on for 3 months, but we had to move the website, and then I had an accident, and so I got waylaid for 2.5 weeks. And now I got my computer system waylaid. I just can't get a break, can I?
Mm-hmm.
So,
no.
So that's kind of where we're at with the website.
Oh, good. That's good news for people to know. We do have a couple more questions here. Let's see. Ginger, what's on your mind today?
Good morning, Carol and Jim. I would like a little bit of clarification on the real estate trust in not wanting to have your name on it. Is it my understanding that, like, we're getting close here to buying a home, we should purchase that trust ahead of time? Or can you take a trust that you have with real estate, and then once you sell your other home, can you transfer that into the new trust, or is it just two separate entities?
So your question is, okay, go ahead, Jim. You take it.
Yeah, I was going to ask the question. Okay, so if you have a real estate trust and you have a home in it right now, and you sell that home, that trust is still valid. Just move your new home into it. It's just a paperwork shuffle.
Okay.
Yeah, that works, no problem. But we highly recommend that you only have one property per trust because of the exposure in case something happens. Now, again, if a little side note, since you brought this up, if you are running a home-based business in your house, be sure and contact your insurance company that has your homeowner's policy and ask them if you have to have a rider on that to be able to conduct business, because somebody comes to your home to do business with you and they fall and get hurt, your homeowner insurance may not cover that. Mine here in Oregon does not. I have to have a rider. So I have my homeowner, I live in a house that's a rental right now. So I have renter's insurance, which is the same thing, and then I have a business renter's insurance policy. Be sure and check that out.
Perfect.
It states differently.
Okay, and Ginger, you mentioned something about having somebody else. You are still the trustee of your trust. By naming somebody else as a president or whatever position, they're the ones that are going to sign the purchase agreement. They're the ones that are going to sign the escrow agreement, et cetera, because they are your valid representative.
Okay,
You're still the trustee, but they're just acting in your stead.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Okay. Anything else, Ginger?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Sioux Falls, area code 605.
Hey, greetings, family. Fred and Connie here. Just a simple question. Any idea when, I know everybody's busy, but if you have a release date or when you might be able to update that Shield Volume 6 about the land trust agreement?
Oh, my God, I wrote that, 15 years ago. Yeah, I could work on that. I don't have any date to think about. But, yes, I agree it should be redone. And
awesome.
I will do it.
Yeah, I'm just always hungry for this info, and I love you guys. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay. That was a good point for him to bring up. As I said, I wrote that about 15 years ago, and we have changed it from calling it a land trust to calling it a real estate trust, and there's a few other differences as well, but it's something I will work on. Anybody else have any questions? Jim, you have anything to add in the meantime?
Yeah, you scofflaw, you're not doing your job. He caught you on that, didn't he?
Yeah, I totally forgot about it.
Just sitting around eating bonbons. I know how you are.
Yep,
in Florida.
That's me. In Florida, sitting in the sun by the pool.
Yep, and it's right now it's 37 degrees here where I'm at. I'm freezing. It's drizzly rain, and you're in Florida.
That's just the way it is sometimes. But we do have a few more questions here.
All right, let's take them.
No justice, right? Okay. Hi, Raul.
Hey, Carol and Jim. I wanted to ask you something regarding the real estate trusts. The information that goes in there when you buy a home, will that be the escrow papers, the property description on all the easement, et cetera? Would all that go into the trusts?
Yes. Everything.
Well, basically, what we put, Go ahead, Jim. Go ahead.
Well, I would say what we do is we make it an addendum into the trust. I mean, you give us all the information, all that stuff goes in the trust, and the actual documents that you send us, or you don't have to send us, you just have to send us some basic stuff. You just make an addendum to the trust. You just make a copy, 3-hole punch it, put it in the binder, and that's all you really need to do. But you do have to have information sent to us, and then you have to get the because there's approximately 52, including the territories, different types of quit claims to move the property. So we don't do that anymore. It's too hard to do all the research. So everything changes. But your what do they call it? Closing agent.
Warranted.
Yeah,
there you go.
The closing agent, whoever's working, will have all that for you.
Okay.
And so then it's recorded.
And how does that go into the trust in terms of just punch some holes on it and just put it in there?
Well, yeah. You just take everything that they give you, make a photocopy of it, put it in the trust, keep the original in the file, and, of course, they'll give you the paperwork, and then there'll be a place there where if you send us the information of the address, I can pull up the lot and block or the legal address from that and put it in the trust. And then you need to get the quitclaim deed for that.
Yes.
I got you.
And your escrow agent will record it under the name of the trust because the trust is the owner.
Put it in. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Yep. You're welcome, Ronald. Bye-bye. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm sorry, I still don't know how to pronounce your name, area code 318.
Okay, Imhotep Muhammad. Since you're talking about the land trust, yes, Imhotep Muhammad. When you file, I order and get a land trust, purchase a piece of property, have it put in the name of the trust. Do you have to take that to the courthouse once everything is done, and do you have to take that and register it at the courthouse? In the what they call it, the land section, or I can't remember what name they're using for it now, but do that have to be registered through a courthouse in your county or parish?
Yeah, it does, but usually the escrow company does that for you.
Oh, okay.
So when you buy a piece of property, when you go through escrow, the agent will ask you all the questions. You'll give her the copy of the pertinent data for the trust, and then she'll have all that recorded. You physically do not have to do that unless you're doing a purchase privately. Then yes, you'd have to go down and record it. And you just go to the recorder's office, and they make a photocopy of all the documents, and that's it, and it becomes public record. And that's why we've come up with a way for your name not to show up, but you can hire a president for the trust member. You're still the trustee, and their name is on the public record, not your name.
Okay. Next question, how do this relate, or do it relate at all with I'm going to use a term that I've been looking up and trying to do research on, called land patent?
Well, a land patent was originally set up when you could take fee simple land when you were granted the land from the federal government or the state government. The reason I know about that is because we moved to Alaska when I was a kid, and we homesteaded. And we have a land patent on our property, which is a superior patent. We sold it recently, a while back. Anyway, we sold it. We had the free and clear land patent that was issued by the federal government. We were the first, other than the federal government, to own that land. That's what a land patent's for. Now, there are things out there that people saying, well, if you can drive down deep enough, you can go back to the original owner, and then you can clean up the patent, and you'll be fee simple. You own it, nobody can touch it. And that doesn't work. There's a lot of people saying it'll work, but I've never seen anybody get it to work right. By theory, it should work, but because of the layers and layers and layers of government and all the unlawful and illegal things that they put in the laws, you can't get around that anymore, I don't think. But be very careful if somebody says, well, I can get you a land patent where you wholly own it and there's no government interference. I don't think that happens.
Yeah. Okay. I know of somebody in Washington that tried to do that to save his home from foreclosure, and he still lost it. Land patent, they just, like they do with most things, they just into the circular file.
Okay. Thank you.
But if you find somebody that can do that, call me.
Really, let us know.
Okay. I'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else have any questions today? What else is on your mind, Jim?
Not much. My mind's pretty small right now. I'm I'm just surviving right now. It's not fun. There is a lot of interesting things happened in the last couple of days when it comes to real estate here locally. They're changing laws to try and steal our property here in Oregon. It's getting stupid. Now they're saying, well, if you have a piece of property, you have to pay, property tax. Now they're putting more things in the property tax. And it's just this whole thing about, taxation is out of control. They're almost going to double property tax here in Oregon. They're trying to. I don't think they're going to get it pushed through or not.
Oh, my gosh. It's terrible.
Well,
absolutely terrible. Yeah. You do live in a blue. You do live in a blue state, so.
Yeah, temporarily. I've been a north and northwest boy all my life. I mean, I was born in the West Coast and went to Alaska, and then I moved from Alaska after 30 years up there, and I've been on the West Coast ever since. But I swore I'd never move to the East Coast, but I think I'm going to do it.
I think you probably will. Anyway, we have one more caller. Let's go to Gary. Hey, Gary.
Yeah, hi, Carol and Jim. You mentioned earlier that the management trust could actually purchase the car or fund the purchase of a car or of a real estate investment, a home. How, if you don't have a management trust set up initially, how would that happen? Or could we fund it through the Motherlode Trust?
You could, but it depends on how you set up your estate. Okay, you have a real estate trust, and then if you got an automobile trust. The reason we put the management trust together is what Carol and I have been doing. We just never thought about formalizing until recently, is we have a trust set up just to manage the money. So the real estate trust would contract the management trust to manage its money. And then if you set up the way I set up mine, is then my Motherlode Trust funds my real estate trust and my automobile trust through the management trust. So the hierarchy here is, I won't get into how to set up the trust. We can do that on a different part of this call. But right now, what happens is the management company has some currency. The real estate trust has some currency. And it had the Motherlode Trust exchange it for it. And the instructions were, okay, now that you exchange that, I want you to put it in the management trust on behalf of me, the real estate trust. And then the real estate trustee goes out and shops and finds a house and then tells the management trust, fund that. And there's still money left in there, and then you've got money to pay the bills and all this. So the management trust then has that money available to do that. Now, if you don't have that set up, then you're going to have to get an EI number for your real estate trust and do the same thing. You would get the money into the real estate trust, however you want to move it, and then you would, or the Motherlode Trust could actually buy the house and place it into the real estate trust. It depends on how you set up your estate. There's various ways to do it. Does that help?
It does. I think I'd rather go through the management trust route than through the Motherlode route. But I was just wondering, time constraint-wise, if we find a house that we want to buy and we don't have any of that set up yet, how long would it take to set up the management trust and the real estate trust?
Just a few days. You can do this way. Now, if you find the property and you don't close for 30 days, you may want to push the closing off for 30 days intentionally. Remember, when you would do it this way, if you're going to buy a house, you put it, like for me, Jim Knox, okay? I would say Jim Knox and or assigns, which means now I've made an offer on the house as Jim Knox, but I can assign it to anybody else once they accept it. So what I do at that point, I wait 30 days, and just before I go to closing, I will have everything set up, and then I notify the escrow agent that I have assigned this contract to ABC Real Estate Company. So now it's going to be invested in ABC Real Estate Company. So I bought myself 30 days of time to get the trust, get the management trust, everything set up. So that's, in worst case scenario, one case scenario. The worst case scenario is you temporarily take it in your name, and then you move into the trust.
Okay.
Gary,
I think I
your
understand.
Your question at the time depends how busy we are post-RV.
That's true.
And we're
very true.
So we can't say it's going to be a few days or a week like it is now because we have no idea how busy we're going to be. And we do have people ready to step in and help out, but we don't need them at this point. At that point, we will. So we hope to keep on a relatively quick schedule.
Gotcha. Well, thank you. I think you answered my question.
Good. Thank you. Let's see. Okay, there's no more questions right now. Jim mentioned that I'm in Florida. I am here visiting my brother and his family, and I don't want to rub it in, but it's absolutely delightful here. Really enjoying myself. So if you haven't heard too much from me lately, that's probably why.
And if you hear a click, it's because I just got fed up with that and hung up on you.
Well, folks, it is about quarter to the hour, and we don't have a lot of questions left. We don't have any questions left. So I think at this time we probably ought to sign off. Jim, you have anything to say?
Yeah. Are we going to have another call this month?
No. My next call will be in January.
Okay. Well, shall I let them know what I'm doing?
That's your choice.
Yeah. All right. Well, folks, it looks like I'm coming to the end of my road with this. I had some health issues I'm dealing with. I've crashed on the floor 3 times in the last 70 days, broke some bones last couple weeks ago. So I've decided to kind of retire. So this will probably be my last call with Carol. And I'll be available through the end of the month, and then after that, I think I'm just going to move someplace and spend the rest of my time licking my wounds, so to speak, and trying to keep alive. It's not been fun here lately. Most of you know that I'm pretty well disabled anyway from a bad accident years ago. Actually, it's not actually. The doctors poisoned me. I use a cane to get around. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I just don't really want to spend the last of my days doing what I'm doing around. I want to go look around a little bit. So pretty much this is it for me, folks. But anyway, Carol, I'm not going to give any information out. They know who I am. And
that's true.
I'll still be working with Carol from time to time. And as a lot of you know, I have my own company, and I have my own clients. And I'm just going to tell them basically the same thing, that I'm no longer going to be available. And fade off in the sunset. So that's it. Anything else, Carol?
Okay, I've got my headset on, and it's making. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, because my headset just went south. Anyway, I'm sure you all know that I'm very sad to see Jim go, but it is his health and his decision. My name, as you know, is Carol Werelius. My number, the easiest way to reach me is through email. As I said, I'm currently in Florida, so working on East Coast time. My email is info@indicatorinformation.com, and I would like to thank all of you so much for attending these calls for all this time. And I'm going to break up a little bit here. I'll still be around. I would like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll talk to you in January. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.